Hello, kings and queens. King Moreland here. As you know, I'm on a mission to help you unlock your full potential and become the absolute best versions of yourself. Whether you're facing challenges, chasing dreams, or just looking to level up in life, you've come to the right place. Every week, we dive deep into strategies, mindset shifts, and practical tools that will help you transform your life from the inside out. This is your channel, your personal development channel, so that you can become the powerhouses that you are meant to be in a role. A channel where mediocrity is not an option and excellence is our standard. So, if you're ready to join a community of passionate individuals committed to growth, such as yourself, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that like button, and please comment and share this with a friend, someone that you know can help. And let's continue this journey together. All right. If you're watching this video, you have made it to Break the Matrix Part 2, Episode 2. This episode is a very, very important episode for a multitude of reasons. One, namely, it's trending right now, and it's something that we actually really need to talk about, right? But the other reason is it's been something that's been plaguing the Black community for a very long time, and it's about time that we actually put an end to it. So without further ado, Break the Matrix Part 2, Episode 2 is titled The Streets Are Dead. But here's the thing, they've been dead. No one just ever told you, right? So I'm going to say this as clear as I possibly can. The streets don't love you. The streets don't love you. And guess what else? The streets don't care about you. They never have, and they never will. And if you think that you're going to one day get a reward from being in the streets, be honest with you, you already lost, man. Because the truth is, the streets are dead, but the streets have been dead. And today, I'm going to explain why. Before, the streets are able to take something from you that you can't get back, right? So, I'm going to be honest. I like the conversation that's happening right now in the world that's centered around the streets. If you've been on the internet or watching what's going on with a lot of rappers, specifically from Atlanta, you know, I don't want to say any names or make that part of the video, but I do want to reference what's going on. There's a F the Streets movement trending right now. And me being a content creator, I wanted to also add my 2 cents into this conversation because this is a conversation we need to normalize. It's something that has been plaguing the Black community for a really long time, and it's something that we absolutely need to put an end to. So we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this so we can save lives, so we can honestly change communities, and so that we can change the entire trajectory of families. A lot of people need to hear this, but especially the young men in our communities, young men who are being pressured to join street activities on a daily basis. Me being someone who is in the education field, I see it all the time, and it's absolutely something that I'm very passionate about stopping because it just has taken too many of our young Black men away from us. And it's something that we absolutely need to put an end to because the truth is, these kids are being sold a lie. They're being told the streets are a path that can lead to success, the streets can lead to power, and that the streets can lead to you getting respect. And I'll be honest, in some occasions, that is absolutely true. You can get power, you can get respect, and you can become successful. But let's be honest, that's very, very, very far and few. In most cases, the streets lead to jail or death. And if that doesn't happen and you somehow make it out, it leads to a lifelong battle with trauma. So, for all those reasons and a multitude more, I will tell you straight up the streets are a trap. And before I let the streets get you all, I want to tell you what lies ahead. This is for anyone who's in the streets or anybody being pressured to join the streets. I want to help everybody because at the end of the day, if you're already in it, it ain't too late to stop. And if you're not in it, I don't want you to ever get involved in it because it can be hard to get out. But let's pump the brakes. Before we get too deep, let's keep things simple. Let's just start with the practical stuff as to why the streets don't lead to anywhere positive. Let's break this down logically. The streets don't have a retirement plan. The streets don't come with any health care. The streets doesn't really come with protection like the people around you say they will protect you. But we've seen numerous times just in a lot of different situations when someone actually does get gunned down or something real does take place, a lot of people that were supposed to protect them, they run off because they're scared. So it doesn't really come with a lot of protection either, right? And I'd argue that there's no real long-term rewards for being in the streets. And if that's not bad enough, this is something a lot of people don't know. If you are a street dude, you should get life insurance because the chances of you passing away is higher, right? But even getting life insurance because you're in the streets and you might have a criminal record is going to cost you a little more premium wise than it would someone who didn't choose that type of path in life. So the truth is, there is no longevity in street life. And like I said before, there's only three real outcomes, right? There's losing your freedom, going to prison. There's death, you dying at a young age, which is not good. Or if you are able to make it out, you can deal with a lifelong battle with trauma that essentially carries with you forever. Now you learn how to cope with it and you learn how to find ways to live with it. But it's just one of those things that if you didn't choose that path in life, you wouldn't have to deal with that at all. Right. So I'll be honest, occasionally there are people that make it out of the streets and become successful. I don't want to say like it's impossible because it's not. I've seen it happen before. Right. But you have to start looking at it like it's hitting the lottery. I mean, like, seriously, if we're just being honest, what are the chances that you're going to be the street guy that, leaves the streets and becomes a successful businessman? Like, it just doesn't happen that often. Some people leave the streets and become NBA players. Some people become rappers. But for every one person that's able to do that, there's hundreds to thousands of people who just don't make it. So, just being honest, you becoming a successful person after joining the streets, it's just extremely low. It can happen, but I don't want you to bet on that. The more likely outcome is you leaving the game in a casket or getting sent to prison and losing your freedom. And you know what? If you don't believe me and you don't want to take my word for it because maybe you don't know me or I'm just some random guy on YouTube, just look around you. Just look around you. Ask yourself, how many street dudes do you know personally that were able to transcend the streets and become successful? How many people you know personally that were in the streets and that actually lived long enough to see their kids become adults? I mean, we just got to be honest. How many do we know that actually live successful lives, that actually have a positive outcome of their life? It's not a lot. And then you got to look at how many homies do you know that have passed away? Or how many homies do you know that the only way that you can ever speak to them is when they call you and you press 5? I'm not judging. I'm here to help. I'm just saying I want you to think about this. Like, I've been there before. I know what that's like. And I'm here to tell you it's a better life. I promise you. It's a better life if you choose a better path. But let's just run the example, right? I know this might hurt some of y'all, but I have to be honest, not to prepare you for the realities of life. Because on this channel, and especially during the Break the Matrix series, I don't sugarcoat nothing. I show y'all what it is. I tell y'all the truth, straight up. And I'm going to just be honest. I know a lot of y'all ain't going to want to hear this, but I got to tell y'all, most of your homies are not going to make it out. In fact, if you're in the streets, it's likely you might not make it out. Some of them are going to die young. Some of them are going to go to prison. And some of them, unfortunately, this does happen. And it's so sad when it does, but it's people that's been in the streets that literally just disappear. No one ever sees them again, and nobody even knows what happened. Like, we don't even know what happened. Where are they? We don't know if they're alive. Like, sometimes people just disappear in the streets. Like, it's so sad. And I have to tell you guys this because no one is like really telling y'all the truth about the streets. They lying to y'all. They telling y'all all the positives that come with it. Does it come with girls? Sure. Does it come with illusion of respect? Sure. It comes with some things, but none of that stuff is like going to help you feed your family. None of that is going to take care of your mama. Like, it's just not. And you know what? I'm going to say this too, because here's the part that no one prepares you for. Here's the other outcome, right? The homies that don't go to jail, guess what they do? They grow up, they mature, and they get tired of the streets. And they start families, right? Because they want to see their kids grow. They move away and they stop answering your phone calls. And it's not because they hate you. It's not because they dislike you, but it's because they realize how much the streets have took from them. And they don't want to be around it no more. And guess what? All those codes that y'all swore by, that won't even matter no more. They'll call you foolish for bringing that up because y'all in y'all 30s now. And they'll look at you like you childish. But it's because you might have went to jail and spent the last 10 years of your life in jail. And y'all went in, y'all was doing all this street stuff when y'all was in y'all 20s. You went in jail, then did 10 years, and did a decade, right? You come back out, you still in that street mindset. They not in that no more. They was actually able not to go to jail. They was able to avoid jail time. So they continue to have these experiences. They might have traveled. They might have kids by now. They might have a wife by now. Like, at the end of the day, you done sacrificed your time and freedom. They was able to avoid that for whatever reason. So now when you get out, y'all not even on the same page no more. So you just lost another homie, and you didn't even lose him to the grave or to jail. You lost him because he grew up and realized that the streets ain't about nothing. Cause it ain't. And a lot of times your homies will mature and realize that. I want you to realize that in your 20s so you don't choose that path. Right? Because at the end of the day, I don't want you to sacrifice all of this time, sacrifice your freedom. Some people sacrificing their life in the streets because at the end of the day, you're intelligent. And if you use your same street acumen in different fields, man, you could be an entrepreneur. You could be a teacher. You could be a preacher. You could be anything you want to be. Because at the end of the day, whether you know this or not, if you able to be good at the streets, that means you able to be good at business because it requires you to be an entrepreneur, to be a good street dude. But you didn't even know that. You got potential to do all type of stuff, but you're using it wrong. But like, let's just continue to go down this path, right? You're going to be mad at your homie because he grew up, but you got to look at it from his point of view. He's seen all of y'all go to jail. He's seen what that looked like. He's seen what that gets you. So him being the only person that didn't go in there, he understood like, man, I'm going to be just like them if I keep doing the same stuff. So he's able to see all those wasted years. He's able to see the lost friends. He's able to see the constant stress that y'all was under. He's able to look at himself and understand that, man, he had endless paranoia, always looking behind his back, wondering who after him now. He's able to understand that. And for some dudes, they grow up and they realize how traumatized they were and they start trying to heal that. And then boom, suddenly that street culture that y'all both was under the same umbrella, it don't hit the same for him no more. So you done came out 10 years later, you got the same mentality. So it's like you stood in place. But because his mindset elevated and he grew up, you done got out. Now you standing alone. And you want to call everybody faking like, oh man, he ain't cool. He ain't real for that. But at the end of the day, if you look at it from his perspective, the realest thing he could possibly do is to actually understand that this ain't a healthy way of life. And for him to help you get back on your feet. That would be the realest thing for him to do. Not for him to get back on that street stuff just because you still on that. No, it would be for him to actually help put you on. But y'all ain't ready for that conversation yet. Let's keep going. Let's go a little deeper, right? So let's talk about the respect factor. You get respect from your fellow gang members, right? And it's called street respect or cred, right? Those are different words they be using. I'm gonna tell you straight up, it's all an illusion. It ain't real respect. And this how I know it ain't real respect. It's based off of fear. It's based off of reputation, how much work you put in. Stuff like that. Like it ain't real. It's based off who's watching whenever you do something. Because if you did something, but ain't nobody see it, it don't even count. So it ain't based off nothing real. And the sad part is it's fragile. It doesn't hold up when stuff get real. When things actually really happen, the same people who was hyping you up to do that, they done forgot about you. When you actually go to jail behind it, they start writing them letters. They stop answering phone calls. Like stuff get real. Like the same women that you had because they was drawn to that street life. They was drawn to that street persona you had. When you go in there, they may stay solid for up to a year, maybe. That's on the good side. Most of them gone in a month. And guess who they going with? Likely your homie. Because what you not knowing is a lot of people choose the people they mate with based off proximity. So just because that was your homie and she know him, she comfortable with him already because she was with him when she was around you. When you go in there, what's stopping her from dealing with him now? See, but you ain't thinking about that. You looking at him like that's the guys. He ain't gonna do that. You looking at her like, oh, she gonna be loyal. They not. Because you gotta understand that part of the reason you had respect and part of the reason why they was staying in their place was because you was out here. Now that you in there, they know ain't no consequences. If they do something, what you gonna do? You can't do nothing till you get back out. And by then they could have skipped town. You see what I'm saying? They get real like that. And at the end of the day, I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. That's the sad reality of the streets. The same people you was around, by the time you get back out, they be gone. Whether it be the woman, the man, like your homies, your brothers, the people you said was gang, they be out of there. And you come back out by yourself. Now you gotta start over. You need a new girl, you need new homies, you need new everything. You need a new car, you need a new house. Like it really is like the reset button. And hopefully you got a better mindset when you get back out. Because if you don't, I ain't gonna lie, you going back in. But let's continue. When it come down to it, the same crowd, the same audience you had that was cheering you on to do those violent acts, when you go to jail, they're not gonna visit you. In fact, those same people gonna say you was goofy for doing it. They gonna say you was a goofball for doing the stuff that they cheered you to do. That's what happens. And on top of all of that, right? On top of the betrayal of the homies, the betrayal of your girl, like on top of all the different betrayals that you're gonna experience, this the part that you really gotta realize. You gotta get this through your head. Ain't nobody gonna pay your lawyer fees. Most of the time, you gotta deal with that. Ain't nobody gonna help raise your kids. Have you got kids at this time? Most of the time, hey, you were supposed to deal with that. That was your responsibility. And guess what? If you was taking care of your mama, they not gonna take care of your mama. You gonna be all jammed up, not able to do nothing for nobody who you care about. And that honor code that y'all was like rocking with, all them codes that y'all made, it disappears when stuff get real. I'm just being real. Like, at the end of the day, them same people you called your brothers and swore that they was gonna keep their mouth shut when stuff got real, yeah, they start chatting real quick when them numbers get thrown out. When their future starts to look dark, when them legal teams start talking about them football numbers, them years they facing, if they don't roll on you, they gonna tell. They gonna tell. And it's like you want to be so mad at them because y'all held this code, right? But I'm gonna just be honest with you. Ain't nobody trying to hear, man, you 20, but you finna do another 20 years behind bars. They not trying to hear that. They not trying to hear that. if they get a plea deal to where they can do 5 and end up telling everything on you to where you guaranteed to do your 20, man, they gonna roll over on you, man. I'm just being honest. This is what happens. This is what happens, and this is the stuff that ain't nobody talking about. Ain't nobody talking about how real it get when them football numbers get talked about. When all these different situations get put out there, it really does become a situation where which one of y'all gonna snitch first? Because once somebody start telling, you gonna start telling, and next thing you know, y'all all jammed up. Ain't nobody getting out. You'd be better off not joining in the first place. But look, here's the real winners, right? Here's the truth. At the end of the day, very few people actually win in the streets, but the people that do are the people who made it out early. The people who were in the streets, but they were able to realize a pattern. They saw that nobody was growing old in the streets. For street terms, you make it to 30, you old, right? That's not old in real life, but for street lifespan, it is. You know, the people that made it out noticed that, man, hold on, ain't nobody retiring from the chaos that this stuff come with. You know, nobody is winning long term. So those people, they realized that they had to get out of there, and they got out early. And they didn't do that because they was weak. Nah, but they did that because they was wise. And guess what? I'm gonna tell you the truth. If you in the streets right now, it ain't too late for you. You can get out. You just gotta be strategic with it and know who you dealing with. Know who gonna be opposed to that decision and be wise about that. But listen, when you do get out, right? I'm speaking to the people who didn't join the streets to begin with, or the people who were able to make it out right here. Please, 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 replace that street high that you was getting with something real, something of substance, right? Like skill building. When you acquire new skills, like this, for instance, being able to speak, when you acquire new skills, that's something that nobody can ever take from you. You got that forever. And those skills can get you more money, right? And then once you are able to get some money, real money, not that fast money you was getting in the streets, put it into assets because assets are going to pay you instead of the plug. You don't need the plug no more. You got assets. Your assets can pay you. So you can essentially stay out of the streets. That's how you're going to stay out right there. Actually having assets that pay you, right? And then you want to establish a purpose, walking in a certain direction, knowing what you want to do with your life, and understand that you got a legacy, young brother. You need to have something that you're working towards that's going to live when you gone. That's your legacy, right? When you in the streets, you ain't got no real legacy. They call people street legends, but what are they legends of, right? You want a real legacy, take care of people even after you gone. That's what the real ones do. They build something so strong that even when they gone, they still able to protect and provide. I want that for you, right? And then I want you to have a high self-worth, not something that comes from your reputation in the streets, but something that comes from making decisions that truly empower yourself and empower your family. That right there, when you have self-worth that comes from that, oh, that means something, right? And then lastly, build a brand new brotherhood, one that's not built from destruction in the streets or pain or trauma bonding, but one that's built from growth. Y'all all having a mindset of, man, we gonna do better than the people that told us to lie joining the streets. Like we gonna make sure people good for real. You want that, right? You know, because real brotherhood comes from building something together, learning together, leveling up together, not from burying each other, man. And then not only just burying each other, but after you bury them, you promise to avenge their death. And I'm gonna just be real with you. It would be way more solid for you to take care of their kids or make sure the family was straight. Be strong for everybody that's still here. Because when you decide that you gonna go slide Unfortunately, a lot of times you end up just like them, gone too soon. And I don't want that for you. I want you to actually be able to take care of your family and be here to provide for them forever, you know? Because at the end of the day, once you get to that legacy piece, you build some, you acquire assets that outlive you. You acquire a legacy that outlive you. You actually able to put together a trust, a will. But you got to live long enough to do these things. And that's why you got to leave the streets. At the end of the day, I want y'all to know why I'm saying this. I'm saying this because I've seen kids fall victim. I've seen bright kids, funny kids, smart kids, kids who could have done anything in their mind, could have set their mind to do anything, fall victim to the streets. Kids that never stood a chance. And it's because nobody told them the truth. Nobody told them what I'm telling y'all today. Nobody told them this. So they were playing a game that they couldn't win. So I'm going to tell you plainly, straight out, please hear me when I say this. You are not weak for walking away. You are not soft for choosing a prosperous, long life. You're supposed to want to get old. You're not lame for wanting more for yourself. In fact, you smart. You smart because at the end of the day, the streets are a dead end. And it's been that way. Please start choosing life. The real flex is living a long time and taking care of your people, building a family, watching them kids grow up into adults, seeing what your legacy look like. That's what's real. That's what's supposed to happen. Man, listen. If ain't nobody told you this yet, hear from me. You matter, and your life matters, and your future matters. Don't give it away. Don't give it to the system. Don't give them time that you'll never, ever, ever get back, man. Time is one of your most valuable assets. And that's exactly why you can't be letting them take it from you. And listen, if you've been watching my Break the Matrix series and watching every episode, I'm telling y'all, the system is rigged against us. It is. If you look like me, the system is rigged against you. So don't join the streets and make it easier for them to stop your shine. Because that's what happens. Please be wise. Choose growth and choose life. All right, kings and queens. If you've enjoyed this latest installment of our Break the Matrix series, please like, please subscribe, and please comment. And also hit that bell so you get notified whenever I drop. And share this with someone who you know is in the streets and you want them to escape. You want them to choose a better path in life. Because at the end of the day, they might not listen to you. And maybe they won't listen to me. But you know what? Maybe they do. Maybe I'm that voice that can actually get through to them. So send it to them. At least try. Because at the end of the day, we are truly changing the world one person at a time. And as always, I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Amen.